Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today's lesson is an advanced level lesson. That means we'll be speaking using our normal English tone of voice and using some very, very difficult vocabulary and phrases. So this is really good practice for all of you out there.
That's right. We're going to change a little bit the dynamic of how it works. We're not going to look specifically at language takeaway or fluency builder. We're going to talk about the topic. We are going to pick out a couple of different words and phrases that are used in the dialogue, but we're mainly going to just have a conversation, and you can just listen and study a little bit of what we're saying.
So what is the topic today, Marco?
Well, today we're going to talk about the environment, specifically about our carbon footprint.
Okay, that is the title of today's lesson. I encourage all of you to listen to the context of that phrase, and we'll be back in a moment to talk about what it and some of these other phrases mean.
So what's your guys' take on all this global warming hysteria in the media?
It's pretty serious, man. There have been tons of scientific studies, and the scientific community says that the Earth is heating up. We need to make some drastic changes to our lifestyle if we want to preserve our planet.
I don't know. It sounds like a bunch of mumble jumble if you ask me. The Earth will save itself. It survived worse disasters in the past. I mean, honestly, we live in the boonies. There's no way anyone here is ever going to walk or bike to work, especially in the winter. And we have no bus system. My house is 40 years old, and it would take a lot of money to get it refitted to be green and energy efficient.
Well, I don't really know if I believe in global warming either, or whether or not it was our doing or a natural change the Earth is going through. But you have to admit that we're living pretty irresponsibly here in the West.
I guess.
I think the issue at hand is sustainability. We've only got this one Earth we can live on, and our resources are quickly disappearing because of our own carelessness and our inability to think of anyone but ourselves and anything but the present.
So, like I was saying, we need to change the way we live. We need to reduce our carbon footprint.
But it doesn't have to be that drastic. Hybrid vehicles and solar panels are too expensive to be feasible right now. And we don't have to be hippies living off the land and buying everything organic either. Though it helps.
I carpool to work every day with some buddies of mine. I have a rain barrel outside my house I use to water my plants and my lawn in the summer. And I make sure I always bring reusable bags with me when I get my groceries. And we just started using biodegradable plastic made from corn oil for takeout orders at my family's restaurant. Remember the 3 R's? Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Exactly. It's just small, simple changes. Like buying energy-saving light bulbs, starting a compost bin, recycling bottles and papers, using reusable water bottles, stop using disposable cups and cutlery.
Like the ones we're drinking out of?
Yeah.
All right, we're back. So, as you probably guessed, carbon footprint, it's pretty easy. You're talking about a footprint is the evidence you leave if you're walking on sand, for example.
Exactly.
And if we talk about carbon, we're talking about the element, right? Mm-hmm. Carbon.
Yep. So carbon is something that is in everything, basically. Mm-hmm. It's organic, but it can also, in the case of a carbon footprint, mean the amount of maybe waste or damage that we do to the earth or to the environment.
Right. So, for example, you're driving your car. We all know that the gas that is emitted from the exhaust pipe is CO2, right?
Yeah.
And that contains carbon. So that's a way of seeing that you're leaving a footprint of carbon. You are damaging the atmosphere a little bit by driving your car.
So in talking about a carbon footprint, we talk about having a low carbon footprint, which is good, or a very high carbon footprint, which is bad.
Mm-hmm. Right. So there were a lot of interesting things coming up in the dialogue. One of the first things was...
Well, the first thing that they're talking about in this dialogue is they're having kind of an argument about whether or not global warming and global climate change really exists.
Yeah, this is a very interesting part because some people say, well, global warming is happening, global warming is real. And other people say, well, it's not real. It's not really a problem. This is just a phase that the Earth will go through and like everything, it'll disappear.
Well, I agree with people who say that the Earth goes through phases because sometimes there are centuries that are hotter and sometimes there are centuries that are colder. But I think it's undeniable that there has been a large and immediate global climate change in the last maybe 20 years.
Yeah, we're definitely speeding up maybe that cycle, right?
Exactly. And I think what's great evidence of this and terrible evidence of this is the 3 earthquakes, massive earthquakes that have happened in the last couple of months. And I think that earthquakes like last year and like this year are really, really important reminders that we do, as humans, influence the way that the world responds to us.
I think I always see it as the earth kind of just shaking its back, kind of saying like, get off me. You know?
Stop it.
Stop it.
That itches.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's kind of the way I see earthquakes sometimes. But when they were talking about, well, is it real? Is it not? They use a really interesting phrase when it says, it sounds like a bunch of mumbo jumbo.
Mumbo jumbo.
Yeah.
So this is a way to say that it sounds like a bunch of garbage, or it sounds like a bunch of gibberish. It sounds like a bunch of people are talking about something that doesn't really exist. So mumbo jumbo is basically something that's not really real or true.
I think, don't you also, can you use it as somebody that's saying something you don't really understand?
Right. So if maybe I'm talking to you about something that's very academic and very scholarly, you say, sounds like a bunch of mumbo jumbo to me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's what the person said. The environmental problems are a bunch of mumbo jumbo. But it was really interesting because they were like, well, we have to save the earth. And then there was actually a phrase here that was really kind of hard for me to understand when the person said, I mean, honestly, we live in the boonies.
Boonies.
So what does it mean by living in the boonies?
This is a very common word to hear in spoken English, especially with young people. Boonies means we live far away from civilization. We live far away from cities. We live far away from everything. So maybe these people live in the countryside or in a small village. And they don't feel like they're affected by what people in the big cities do.
Okay. So if you say, oh, I live in the boonies, you're just saying, I live really far.
Really far away. So this is a very common American word, I think. You can also say boondocks, which is like that movie Boondock Saints. But boondocks and boonies means very far away. So I could say, Marco, I'm not going to drive out to your house for a party. You live in the boonies.
Do you have any other ways that you can say that you live really far away?
You live in Egypt.
You live in Egypt.
Which for us in America is obviously very, very far away.
Sometimes we say...
Yonks.
The Yonks, exactly.
Yonks, people in New Zealand say that.
I've also heard people say, oh, you live where the wind turns around.
Really?
Have you heard that one? Yeah.
No, I like that
it's like
one.
You live so far. Oh, God, you live where the wind turns around.
The end of the earth.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So, well, there are a lot of different ways of saying that. So they were talking about different aspects of the environment, like we heard the word green or energy efficient.
Okay, so basically what they're doing is they're talking about some of the things they've heard in the media maybe or on TV about what people are supposed to be doing. You know, these are very abstract. That means these are very kind of big terms. Go green or be more energy efficient.
Yeah, I've heard this. Like, for example, when people say, oh, you have to be more green or go green, that means more friendly towards the ecosystem, right?
That's right. So this is a very general suggestion, and we can talk about specifics in a minute, but this is a very general suggestion for thinking about the environment and doing things to help it. And so go green or be green is a way to be more environmentally friendly. We also have using energy efficient computers or light bulbs or TVs.
Right.
And the third thing that they talk about, and this is something that comes up a lot, is sustainability. Okay?
Yeah, that's a big word that a lot of people like to use.
Yeah, it is.
In this type of topic, sustainability.
Right. So sustainability comes from the word to sustain. That means to hold out over time or to continue. So you think about something. Maybe sustainability is, I think, in many cases about doing or having habits, doing things that you can continue to do for a long time. For example, driving a big SUV to work every day is not keeping in mind sustainability because one day there will be no oil. So then what do we do?
Right.
So that's not a sustainable action. Sustainable actions mean that we have less impact, negative impact on the world.
Right. So basically what you're trying to do is to sustain, which means to hold, to withstand these habits, for example. So
Right.
when you talk about a sustainable ecosystem, it means that it has everything it needs and it can continue to work for a very, very long time.
Right. So you can also talk about sustainable development, which we talk about in aid and giving aid to other countries. So sustainable development is trying to help other countries or other people in ways that they can continue to do for a long time.
It's also very popular with tourism. They talk about sustainable tourism.
Right. That means thinking about the environment and having tourism that can last forever, not tourism that will destroy the environment because it's very harmful.
It's a very interesting topic, and as you say, it's used in a wide range of cases: sustainable development, sustainable projects, sustainable tourism. There are a lot of different ways that people use this, but it's basically the same thing, right? In essence, it refers to that.
Yes, keeping something going over time. But I think the big question here is, if you want to go green, if you want to be environmentally friendly, what do you do? Because it's not about big ideas, it's about specifics. It's about changing your everyday actions, right?
Right.
And so these guys had a couple of ideas.
Yeah, they came up with something like, for example, hybrid vehicles, which is a big thing now. Basically, hybrid means two, right? It's a combination of two or more.
That's right. So, the Sphinx in Egypt, that's a hybrid.
Right, between a man and a lion.
Exactly.
Right. So a hybrid vehicle basically uses gasoline, but also electricity. So they're actually very efficient because
And they're quiet.
they're quiet. And usually where you use up most of your gasoline is in traffic. Because your car is on, you're accelerating, you're braking, you're accelerating, you're braking. So in this case, I think hybrid vehicles run on the electric engine until they hit, I think it's 30 miles per hour, yeah. And once you surpass that, then it switches to the gas engine, which obviously if you have a constant high speed, it's more efficient, the combustion of the gasoline.
Exactly. So a good example of a hybrid vehicle is the Toyota Prius.
Right. I think it was like the first one commercially available.
But now they have all kinds, and they're actually trying to make entirely electric cars. So lots of things to watch out for there. But they also talked about something for the house, right? So if you want to not just have a nice car that is environmentally friendly, but also to do things with your house, what can you put on your roof?
I think you've seen a lot of these. These are called solar panels.
Okay, solar has to do with the sun. So solar power, solar panel, that means energy that comes from the sun. So the sun. And a panel is like a pad or like a some kind of device that can take the energy from the sun.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Basically, in some places you have anywhere between 8 to 12 hours of sunlight. So the whole day, these panels are absorbing energy. You can store them maybe in batteries and then just use them later. So basically, you don't really need to use electricity that comes from coal or from nuclear power plants because, if you want to turn on a light, it doesn't really use up a lot of electricity.
And there's no waste.
It's all clean.
So my question for you, does Ecuador have a lot of solar panels everywhere? Because you guys have so much sunlight down there.
We don't really have a lot of them. It's not a big commercial thing yet, but there are a lot of projects going around to help implement these things a lot better. For example, taking these technologies to the countryside where people don't have access to electricity by means of cables, right? So they're implementing that there, getting them to use it, but it's still expensive. That's the problem with solar panels, is that, of course, it's an energy efficient way of going. It'll save you money in the long run, but
up front
you got to spend a lot of money.
Well, and here's a good way to use sustaining. If someone in the countryside has solar panels in their house, it's a self-sustaining way to produce energy.
Exactly.
You don't have to depend on another place or a person.
Yeah, actually, this is a very popular thing in many developed countries. I remember when I was living in Chile, big buildings were being marketed as energy efficient and green by showing that they can be self-sustaining. So basically, they would have solar panels on the roof. They would collect sunlight all day, and then they had big batteries that would store this energy, and then you can use it. They were more efficient into keeping heat or keeping the cold. And also what we saw in the vocab that they also had was rain barrels. So basically collecting water from the rain, and then they can use this water obviously through a filtering system in order to be able to drink it or to wash your clothes and stuff. But basically, they would say that it could reduce your carbon footprint by more than 50%, and also the amount of money you would spend, because you wouldn't spend so much money on water, you wouldn't spend so much money on electricity or gas and things like this.
That's awesome. Well, one of the biggest concerns as far as environmentalism is water. Where water will come from in 50 years.
Yeah.
Because there is a limited amount of fresh water in the world.
Yes.
And if we can reuse rainwater and collect it, I think it's brilliant. So a barrel basically is like a big container. It's circular. It's like a circle, and it stands up on the ground or on a roof.
And it's brilliant because if you have a rain barrel that collects all this rain and you have solar panels, basically you don't need gas or electricity to take a warm shower. You just have the solar panels that can heat up the rain barrel water, and there you have a warm water. You have a warm
so
shower.
Nice. You have sun-kissed warmth, and you have like fresh rainwater. And
Yeah. But the whole water issue is a very popular topic. I recommend that any of our listeners read. There's a very interesting article that talks about, don't worry about petroleum running out in 50 years. We're probably going to run out of our water before that.
Yeah.
And they project droughts and huge famine in places like India, like in the Middle East, in even in places of China.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, not to scare anyone, but
But yeah, it's
No,
interesting reading though. Yeah, it's really good.
very serious stuff. Well, the last thing that I think we should talk about before we listen to today's audio file again is the compost bin. Now, this is maybe something that's hard to understand for someone who's never seen one before.
Yeah.
But basically, compost is well, the verb is to compost, but it's also a noun. But a lot of people, they don't want to throw away their food and their, organic material, things like flowers and food and biodegradable things. They actually reuse them. So basically, they have a space in the backyard of the house where they throw away all the old food.
Yeah.
Nothing plastic, nothing non-biodegradable. And that over time turns into fertilizer or mulch for their gardens.
Yeah.
So basically you're putting it back into the earth.
Yeah. No, this is a very good option, and I remember seeing that even in Brazil, they have huge compost bins or compost places that they fill up with this garbage, and obviously things that decompose start to emit methane gas.
Yeah.
So they've found a way to harness this gas, transport it through tubes, and start using it. So actually having gas stoves with this
wow.
methane gas.
That's brilliant. So you can get two uses,
Right.
fertilizer and methane gas.
Yeah,
Very
so
smart.
there are a lot of options there to go green, to do your part to help the earth.
Wow. So let's listen again to the dialogue that we had today. Hopefully we've cleared up some of the things that were confusing for you, and we'll be back in just a moment.
So what's your guys' take on all this global warming hysteria in the media?
It's pretty serious, man. There have been tons of scientific studies, and the scientific community says that the earth is heating up. We need to make some drastic changes to our lifestyle if we want to preserve our planet.
I don't know. It sounds like a bunch of mumbo jumbo if you ask me. The earth will save itself. It survived worse disasters in the past. I mean, honestly, we live in the boonies. There's no way anyone here is ever going to walk or bike to work, especially in the winter. And we have no bus system. My house is 40 years old, and it would take a lot of money to get it refitted to be green and energy efficient.
Well, I don't really know if I believe in global warming either, or whether or not it was our doing or a natural change the Earth is going through. But you have to admit that we're living pretty irresponsibly here in the West.
I guess.
I think the issue at hand is sustainability. We've only got this one Earth we can live on, and our resources are quickly disappearing because of our own carelessness and our inability to think of anyone but ourselves and anything but the present.
So, like I was saying, we need to change the way we live. We need to reduce our carbon footprint.
But it doesn't have to be that drastic. Hybrid vehicles and solar panels are too expensive to be feasible right now. And we don't have to be hippies living off the land and buying everything organic either, though it helps.
I carpool to work every day with some buddies of mine. I have a rain barrel outside my house I use to water my plants and my lawn in the summer. And I make sure I always bring reusable bags with me when I get my groceries. And we just started using biodegradable plastic made from corn oil for takeout orders at my family's restaurant. Remember the 3 R's? Reduce, reuse, recycle.
Exactly. It's just small, simple changes, like buying energy-saving light bulbs, starting a compost bin, recycling bottles and papers, using reusable water bottles, stop using disposable cups and cutlery.
Like the ones we're drinking out of?
Yeah.
All right, we're back. So it's a very interesting topic, very debatable. We have Earth Day coming up, I think. You have to turn off your lights for an hour.
That's right. Earth Hour, Earth Day. So remember, reduce, reuse, recycle, the 3 R's.
Yeah.
Think about the way that you use things and, try and reuse them if you can.
Yeah, it's a very good topic. We want to know what you think about it. And also, if you have any suggestions or any comments about future advanced lessons, why don't you tell us? Come to englishpod.com and we'll see everyone there.
Bye.
Bye. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Unintelligible or incomprehensible language. Mumbo jumbo. Gain heat or get hot. Heat up. Maintain in safety from injury, peril, or harm. Preserve. Rural, country, or jungle. Boonies. Keep in existence and maintain. Sustainability. Sudden and severe. Drastic. Capable of being done with means at hand. Feasible. Add new parts. Refit. Prepare and equip for additional use. Refit. Available source of wealth. Resource. Share the car with others to work. Carpool.
Let's try that faster.
Sudden and severe. Drastic. Capable of being done with means at hand. Feasible. Maintain in safety from injury, peril, or harm. Preserve. Prepare and equip for additional use. Refit. Unintelligible or incomprehensible language. Mumbo jumbo. Share the car with others to work. Carpool. Rural, country, or jungle. Boonies. Keep in existence and maintain. Sustainability. Available source of wealth. Resource. Gain heat or get hot. Heat up. Add new parts. Refit.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Mumbo jumbo. That's a load of mumbo jumbo. There is no such thing as aliens. Mumbo jumbo. That's a bunch of mumbo jumbo. You guys like each other and get along well together, so you should at least try one date. Mumbo jumbo. Some people say that what the Bible teaches is a bunch of mumbo jumbo, but I think there's some truth to it. Preserve. By living responsibly, we can preserve our planet for generations to come. Preserve. If you don't start preserving your relationship with your sister now, I'm afraid it will only get worse. Preserve. This historical building has been preserved since the 19th century. Refit. My sister had her living room refitted with a new entertainment system. Refit. The mountain climbers arrived at the base camp, got refitted, and set off again the next morning. Refit. For my birthday, my wife surprised me by refitting my car with a leather interior. Sustainability. Sustainability consists of living one's life in a way that sustains the earth. Sustainability. Sustainability is starting to catch on, and many companies are finding greener ways to make their products. Sustainability. This store is all about sustainability. They sell clothes made from organic materials, purses made from recycled aluminum and plastic, as well as notebooks made with recycled paper. Resource. We need to start finding alternative energy sources because our resources of carbon and oil are limited. Resource. The way we are living is rapidly depleting many of our natural resources. Resource. Solar electrical device connected solar cells and wind turbines are becoming more and more common because they are renewable resources in order to produce electricity.
Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we have another romantic lesson. Kind of romantic.
A little romantic. We got a boyfriend and a girlfriend, and they're apologizing to each other.
Okay, so it's a very common situation, and we're going to be talking about love. We're also going to talk about different pet names that are commonly used in English.
That are used with your boyfriend or girlfriend.
Okay, very good. So let's listen to this dialogue for the first time and see what's happening with our couple.
Can we talk?
Sure, honey. We're talking now, aren't we?
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
I want to know where this relationship is going. I'm in love with you, and I need to know...
You know, I think you're awesome.
I'm awesome. Well, I guess that's my answer, isn't it?
Honey.
Look, if you don't love me, it's not a thing, all right? We've had our laughs, but I don't appreciate... Well, maybe it's just time we...
Baby, I love you so much.
You do?
I love you, and I think you're awesome.
Oh, I love you too.
Come on, put the gun down.
Oh, baby. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so romantic and dramatic.
Yeah, I think she really needed to hear that. Right, so I think she really wanted to hear, I love you.
Yeah, that's right. And there's some interesting phrases here in this dialogue. And today we're going to focus mostly on phrases. So why don't we start with Fluency Builder?
Fluency Builder.
Okay, on Fluency Builder today, we are going to take a look at some of these phrases. And the first one is very important and very different.
So obviously this dialogue is about love, and we heard two different ways that this word is used. And the first one is to love someone.
Right, so he said, I love you.
Yeah, I love you.
we all pretty much understand what that means.
Right. But they also mentioned to be in love with someone.
Okay, so he said, I am in love with you.
I'm in love with you.
In love.
Okay, so what's the difference between to love and to be in love?
To be in love with someone means that you have these strong romantic feelings towards somebody.
That's right. So you can only be in love with your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, or your wife.
So you can love your parents, you can love your family, but you can't be in love with them. You can only be in love with your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife.
That's right.
Okay.
So moving on to the next phrase. Now, the girl asked her boyfriend, can we talk?
Can we talk?
Can we talk?
This is a very simple sentence.
Right, we know the meaning, right?
But why does she say, can we talk?
Okay, so you use this when you want to start a conversation about something serious.
Okay, so if you wanted to talk to me about my new shirt.
I wouldn't say, hey, Marco, can we talk? Oh, I really like your shirt. Where'd you get it?
Exactly, right?
It has to be serious.
It has to be serious. So usually, if somebody says, hey, can we talk? It means that there's going to be a serious topic.
Yeah, it's going to be probably bad news.
Maybe bad news.
Yeah.
So, can we talk? So, if your boyfriend or girlfriend tells you this, well, it's not a good sign.
That's right.
All right, and the last phrase that we have on Fluency Builder. You know what I mean.
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 All right, so again, this phrase is very simple to understand, right?
That's right.
So, you know what I'm talking about.
You understand me.
But the interesting thing is that we can also make it a question.
And it's all about the change in tone.
Okay, so with this in mind, let's listen to two examples of the same phrase, but with different tones. And you try to see which one is the question.
Example 1.
I'm tired of doing nothing all day here at home. You know what I mean?
Example 2.
Come on, Charles. You know what I mean when I say that I don't like your friends.
Example 3.
I hate this class. It's so boring and tedious. You know what I mean?
All right, so we heard the examples and, well, maybe you guessed it right. The second example was the question.
That's right. You know what I mean?
Right. So basically, you're asking the person if they understand your idea or they understand what you're talking about. So maybe you can say, so the professor wasn't very clear on his instructions, so how was I supposed to do the homework? You know what I mean?
So you're asking me to confirm that I understand you.
My idea. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, and if it was a statement, I might say, hey, I don't like going to your mom's house.
So I would say, what? What do you mean? Why?
You know what I mean.
Right. So I perfectly understand or know the reasons why you don't like going to my mom's house.
I don't have to tell you. You know what I mean.
All right. Very good. So you know what I mean. Great. So we've taken a look at these 4 phrases. They're very simple, but the way that you use them gives them different meanings.
That's right.
All right. So let's listen to our dialogue for the second time. Let's slow it down a little bit, and then we'll come back and look at some more phrases.
Can we talk?
Sure, honey. We're talking now, aren't we?
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
I want to know where this relationship is going. I'm in love with you, and I need to know...
You know, I think you're awesome.
I'm awesome. Well, I guess that's my answer, isn't it?
Honey.
Look, if you don't love me, it's not a thing, all right? We've had our laughs, but I don't appreciate... Well, maybe it's just time we...
Baby, I love you so much.
You do?
I love you, and I think you're awesome.
Oh, I love you too.
Come on, put the gun down.
Oh, baby. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so now it's time for us to take a look at some more phrases, but this time we're going to look at them in putting it together.
Putting it together.
Okay, we're going to see how we can use these phrases in a few different situations. So the girl wanted to talk to her boyfriend because she wanted to know where this relationship is going.
Right. Where is this relationship going?
Where is this relationship going?
So she wants to know what's going to happen, or
What's the future?
what's the future of this relationship.
Yeah.
Are we going to get married? Are we
Yeah.
just what's happening?
Yep.
So why don't we listen to some examples with different nouns and how we can use this phrase.
Example 1.
I don't know where my career is going in this company. I don't see any potential for growth.
Example 2.
This movie is so confusing. I have no idea where the plot is going.
Example 3.
We have been in this meeting for over 2 hours and I still don't know where it's going.
Okay, so again, this phrase is just asking about the future of something.
Right. So where the future of this movie, where is this movie going?
Yeah, what's happening?
Right. What's going to happen?
Yep.
Or your career, etc.
Yep. Okay, and so the girl, she was talking a little bit about her feelings, and she said maybe it's just time we.
Okay, so this phrase isn't complete yet.
Yeah.
We need to finish it.
Yeah.
But she is basically saying maybe we should do this.
Mm-hmm.
How can we finish the phrase?
All right, so she could say maybe it's just time we break up.
All right. Or I can say maybe it's time we have a baby.
Ooh, Marco.
All
or
right.
even maybe it's time we go home.
Okay, so it's getting late. Let's go home. Maybe
Yeah.
it's time we go home.
Yeah.
So this is how we can finish this phrase. And what about our last phrase?
So she also said we've had our laughs.
Okay, so that means we've had our good times.
Yep.
Okay.
But we can change this to we've had our ups and downs.
Okay, or we've had our moments. Mm-hmm. Right? So that means we've had our good moments and our bad moments.
That's right. Or we've had our issues.
Okay, so that means we've had some problems,
Yeah.
we've had some difficulties.
Or even we've had our moments.
Okay, so that means we've had
Special times.
Yeah. So that means we've had our special times, special occasions
Yep.
that we will always remember.
That's right.
Okay.
So three really useful structures that you can change the words a little bit to slightly change the meaning.
Okay, so it's time for us to listen to our dialogue for the last time. Now we're ready to understand everything. And then we'll come back and give you some examples of pet names in English.
Can we talk?
Sure, honey. We're talking now, aren't we?
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
I want to know where this relationship is going. I'm in love with you, and I need to know...
You know, I think you're awesome.
I'm awesome. Well, I guess that's my answer, isn't it?
Honey.
Look, if you don't love me, it's not a thing, all right? We've had our laughs, but I don't appreciate... Well, maybe it's just time we...
Baby, I love you so much.
You do?
I love you, and I think you're awesome.
Oh, I love you too.
Come on, put the gun down.
Oh, baby. I'm so sorry.
All right, well, Marco, you mentioned this word pet names. And what exactly is that?
All right, so pet names aren't names for your dogs or your cats,
Okay,
right?
right.
They are those sweet names that you would call your boyfriend or girlfriend.
Okay, so like baby,
Okay, in our dialogue, we heard baby.
Yep.
Right? So we're not talking about a little
a little child.
no.
Yep.
This is usually how you would call maybe your girlfriend or boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Baby.
Or honey.
Honey, right?
Yep.
Hey, honey, or honey, I'm home.
Yep.
Right? But we also have other ones like sweetheart.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Darling.
darling.
Yeah.
Or what about sweetie?
Mm-hmm.
Or cutie.
Cutie. Oh.
So some of these phrases can be a little bit like cheesy, maybe
A little too sweet.
too much.
Yeah.
Like smookums.
Snookums.
Snookums. Like snookums.
Okay.
Or honey bunny.
Oh, yeah.
We also have sweetie pie.
Yep.
Yeah. And some of them will make some up, right? Maybe they'll call their boyfriend Pooh Bear.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, like Winnie the Pooh,
Yeah.
Pooh Bear.
I heard dumpling is a common one.
Also, it could be, you can make up your own phrase. You can make up your own pet names, right?
Yeah. So I want to hear from our listeners. Are there any common pet names in your language?
I know that in Spanish, we sometimes call we can sometimes call our girlfriend gorda, which
Okay.
actually means fat. but it's not in a bad way.
Really?
It's a sweet way of calling your girlfriend. So.
And I know in French you can say ma puce, which basically means my flea.
Apologizing. The importance of apologizing. Apologizing is an important part of communication and relationships. Everyone makes mistakes, and sometimes our words or actions hurt others. When this happens, saying sorry helps to repair the situation. An apology shows that we understand what we did wrong, and that we care about the other person's feelings. Without apologies, misunderstandings and conflicts can grow, making relationships weaker. A sincere apology can bring people closer together. When someone apologizes, it shows that they take responsibility for their actions. It also helps to rebuild trust. If a friend forgets an important event, they can apologize and explain what happened. If a coworker makes a mistake at work, they can apologize and find a way to fix the problem. In families, apologies help parents, children, siblings, and relatives understand each other better. Apologizing is not just about saying the words, "I'm sorry." A real apology includes understanding, regret, and a promise to do better in the future. If someone is late for an important meeting, just saying sorry may not be enough. They need to explain why they were late and show that they respect the other person's time. A good apology includes both words and actions. In different cultures, the way people apologize can be different. In some places, people use very polite words and formal language when apologizing. In other places, people may apologize with simple words or a small gesture, like giving a gift or writing a note. No matter the culture, the meaning of an apology is the same. It is a way to show respect and care for others. For English learners, knowing how to apologize in different situations is very useful. There are many ways to say sorry, from formal expressions, like "I sincerely apologize," to casual ones, like "I'm really sorry." Learning how to apologize correctly helps in daily conversations, professional settings, and personal relationships. It makes communication smoother and helps avoid misunderstandings. A true apology is powerful. It can turn anger into understanding and repair broken relationships. When people apologize sincerely, they create a more positive and respectful environment. Whether in friendships, families, workplaces, or social situations, the ability to apologize well is an important skill for everyone. How to apologize sincerely. Apologizing is more than just saying the words, "I'm sorry." A sincere apology has several important parts. The first step is understanding what went wrong. Before apologizing, it is important to think about the situation. What happened? Why is the other person upset? If we do not understand our mistake, our apology may not feel real. A person who apologizes without understanding their mistake may sound insincere. After understanding the mistake, the next step is taking responsibility. A good apology is honest. Instead of making excuses, it is better to accept the mistake. For example, if someone forgot to call a friend on their birthday, they should not say, "I was busy," but "you should have reminded me." Instead, they should say, "I should have remembered your birthday. I feel bad for forgetting. I'm really sorry." Taking responsibility makes the apology stronger and more meaningful. A good apology also includes an expression of regret. Regret means feeling bad about what happened and showing that we care about the other person's feelings. Phrases like "I feel terrible about this" or "I regret hurting you" show that the apology is real. When we express regret, we help the other person see that we understand their feelings. This can make them more open to forgiving us. Another important part of an apology is offering to make things right. Sometimes saying sorry is not enough. If someone accidentally damages a friend's book, they can offer to replace it. If a coworker makes a mistake in a project, they can offer to fix the problem. Actions speak louder than words, and showing a willingness to correct a mistake proves that the apology is serious. A good apology also includes a promise to do better in the future. If someone is always late, saying sorry each time is not enough. They need to promise to change their behavior. They could say, I know I have been late many times, and I will try harder to be on time. This shows that the apology is not just words, but also a commitment to improving. Tone and body language are also important when apologizing. If a person says sorry in a cold voice, it does not feel sincere. A good apology should be warm and genuine, making eye contact, speaking in a soft tone, and showing concern through facial expressions can make the apology more believable. Writing an apology letter or sending a message can also be helpful, especially when emotions are too strong for a face-to-face conversation. Sometimes an apology is not accepted immediately. When people are hurt, they may need time to forgive. It is important to be patient. Instead of demanding forgiveness, it is better to say, I understand if you are still upset, but I truly regret what happened. Giving the other person time and space can help them process their emotions and eventually accept the apology. In some situations, people apologize even when they are not at fault, just to maintain peace. This is common in workplaces, friendships, and relationships. However, apologizing should always be genuine. Saying sorry when we have not done anything wrong can sometimes create confusion or make us feel uncomfortable. A better way to handle such situations is to acknowledge the other person's feelings without admitting to a mistake that we did not make. Apologizing is a skill that improves with practice. By learning different ways to say sorry and understanding when and how to apologize, people can build stronger, healthier relationships. A sincere apology does not just repair a mistake, it also shows kindness, responsibility, and emotional intelligence. Whether in personal or professional life, knowing how to apologize well is an important part of effective communication. Apologizing between a boyfriend and a girlfriend. In romantic relationships, misunderstandings and mistakes happen. Even in the strongest relationships, couples argue, disagree, or accidentally hurt each other. Apologizing is an important part of maintaining a healthy and loving relationship. When a boyfriend and a girlfriend apologize to each other, it is not just about saying I'm sorry, but about understanding, trust, and emotional connection. In a relationship, emotions are often strong. When one person makes a mistake, the other might feel hurt, disappointed, or even angry. This is why apologizing in a romantic relationship can be more difficult than apologizing to a friend or a coworker. The apology needs to show care, love, and a real effort to make things better. Simply saying, I'm sorry without showing true regret may not be enough. One of the most important things in a relationship is communication. When a boyfriend and a girlfriend have a problem, they need to talk about it openly. Instead of just apologizing quickly to end an argument, they should take time to discuss what went wrong. Listening is just as important as speaking. If one person is hurt, the other should listen carefully and try to understand their feelings before apologizing. The words used in an apology matter. Saying, I'm sorry you feel that way is not a real apology because it does not take responsibility. A better way to apologize is to say, I realize that what I did hurt you, and I feel terrible about it. I never wanted to make you feel this way. This kind of apology shows understanding and care. It helps the other person feel heard and respected. Sometimes, actions are more powerful than words. In relationships, small gestures can help show sincerity. If a boyfriend forgets an important date, he can apologize and then plan something special to make it up. If a girlfriend says something hurtful, she can not only apologize, but also do something kind to show she truly cares. These actions help rebuild trust and strengthen the relationship. Apologizing should never be about winning or losing. Sometimes couples argue and both people feel hurt. In these situations, both should be willing to apologize. A relationship is not a competition. Both people should support each other. If only one person apologizes every time, the relationship can become unbalanced. Both partners should take responsibility for their actions and be willing to admit when they are wrong. Timing is also important. If one person is very upset, apologizing immediately may not work because emotions are too high. Giving the other person time to calm down can make the conversation more productive. A sincere apology given at the right time is more effective than a rushed apology given in the middle of an argument. Trust is an important part of any relationship. If one person keeps making the same mistake and apologizing without changing, their words lose meaning. A real apology should come with a promise to improve. For example, if a boyfriend always cancels plans at the last minute, he should not just say, "I'm sorry." He should also say, "I know I have done this before, and I will make sure it does not happen again." Showing that they are willing to change helps rebuild trust. In long-term relationships, small problems can become big issues if they are not addressed. This is why regular communication and sincere apologies are necessary. When couples apologize and forgive each other, they create a stronger bond. Apologizing does not mean weakness. It means caring about the relationship more than the argument. Love and respect are the foundation of a good relationship. Saying sorry is one way to show that love and respect. A sincere apology can heal wounds, bring people closer, and make the relationship even stronger. Every couple experiences challenges, but those who know how to apologize and forgive each other can build a relationship that lasts. The power of forgiveness and moving forward. Apologizing is only one part of the process. After an apology, the next step is forgiveness and moving forward. If an apology is sincere, it can help repair relationships, but forgiveness is what truly strengthens them. Holding on to anger, even after an apology, can create distance between people. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting the mistake or pretending it did not happen. It means choosing to let go of the pain and allowing the relationship to heal. Forgiving someone can be difficult, especially when the mistake is painful. Some apologies are easy to accept, like when a friend forgets to call or a coworker arrives late. But other mistakes, like betrayal, dishonesty, or repeated hurtful actions, are much harder to forgive. In these situations, time is necessary. The person who is hurt needs space to process their emotions before they can forgive. A forced or rushed forgiveness is not real and will not help the relationship in the long run. In a romantic relationship, forgiveness is especially important. Couples who stay together for a long time learn to forgive each other often. No one is perfect, and mistakes will happen. If a boyfriend and a girlfriend cannot forgive each other, small problems can turn into big ones. However, forgiveness should not be one-sided. If one person is always apologizing and the other never admits their mistakes, the relationship becomes unbalanced. Both people need to take responsibility when they are wrong. Trust plays a big role in forgiveness. If someone apologizes but keeps repeating the same mistake, their words lose meaning. Saying sorry is not enough if there is no change. If a girlfriend apologizes for not listening but continues to ignore her boyfriend's feelings, he may not believe her apologies anymore. If a boyfriend apologizes for breaking a promise but continues to do it, his girlfriend may feel like his words are empty. A real apology includes action. It means working to fix the problem so that it does not happen again. Forgiveness is also important in friendships. Friends argue, misunderstand each other, and sometimes say things they do not mean. A strong friendship is not one where no mistakes happen, but one where both people can apologize and forgive. Holding on to anger can destroy a friendship. A simple but sincere apology can bring two friends closer together. In families, forgiveness is also necessary. Parents and children, siblings, and relatives all have disagreements. Sometimes emotions are strong, and words are said in anger. Apologizing in a family can be difficult because people see each other every day, but an apology in a family can also be one of the most meaningful. It shows love and respect, even after a disagreement. A parent who apologizes to a child teaches them the importance of taking responsibility. A child who apologizes to their parents shows maturity. Forgiveness does not mean that everything goes back to normal immediately. Healing takes time. If someone is deeply hurt, they may need time to trust again. That is why a sincere apology should come with patience. It is important to allow the person who is hurt to process their emotions. Rushing forgiveness can make things worse. Sometimes people expect an apology but never receive one. Not everyone is willing to admit their mistakes. In these cases, forgiveness is still possible. Letting go of anger does not mean accepting bad behavior. It means choosing to move on for personal peace. Holding on to resentment only causes more pain. Choosing to forgive, even without an apology, can bring a sense of freedom and emotional healing. Learning how to apologize and forgive is a skill that improves over time. It helps build strong relationships, whether in friendships, families, or romantic partnerships. When people apologize sincerely and forgive genuinely, they create an environment of trust and understanding. Every relationship will face challenges, but those who learn to apologize and forgive will be able to overcome them. Apologizing and forgiving are acts of kindness, not just for the other person, but also for ourselves. A sincere apology can fix a broken relationship, and true forgiveness can heal a wounded heart. When people learn to say, "I'm sorry" with honesty, and "I forgive you" with sincerity, they build stronger connections and create a more positive and understanding world. Apologizing and forgiveness, a key to strong relationships. Apologizing is a fundamental part of human relationships, whether between friends, family members, or romantic partners. Knowing how to say sorry and how to accept an apology helps maintain and strengthen connections. However, apologizing is more than just saying the words, "I'm sorry." It requires sincerity, understanding, and often a change in behavior. A well-expressed apology can mend broken trust, ease tension, and bring people closer. Many people find apologizing difficult. Admitting a mistake can feel uncomfortable, especially when pride or fear of rejection is involved. However, taking responsibility for an action is a sign of maturity and emotional intelligence. A genuine apology should not include excuses or blame. Instead, it should focus on acknowledging the mistake, expressing regret, and making an effort to repair the damage. In relationships, whether romantic or otherwise, apologizing plays a crucial role. Couples who learn to apologize to each other build stronger and healthier relationships. Every relationship has conflicts, and misunderstandings are inevitable. However, when two people are willing to apologize and forgive, their bond becomes more resilient. Apologizing in a romantic relationship should be done with care, considering the feelings of the other person. Small conflicts can turn into big problems if they are not addressed with sincerity. A boyfriend who forgets an important date or a girlfriend who says something hurtful in anger should both be willing to say sorry in a meaningful way. An apology followed by a positive change in behavior shows that the person is truly sorry and values the relationship. Apologizing is also vital in friendships. Friends argue, disagree, and sometimes hurt each other unintentionally. A strong friendship does not mean never having problems. It means knowing how to resolve them. A sincere apology can prevent a small argument from destroying a friendship. True friends understand that mistakes happen, but taking responsibility for those mistakes shows respect and care for the relationship. Family relationships also benefit greatly from apologies. Parents and children, siblings, and relatives often experience conflicts, whether small or significant. Apologizing within a family can sometimes be difficult, especially when emotions are strong. However, an apology within a family carries deep meaning because it reassures love and respect. A parent who apologizes to a child teaches an important lesson about responsibility and a child who apologizes to their parents demonstrates growth and maturity. Apologies in families help create a peaceful and understanding environment. While apologizing is essential, so is forgiveness. Without forgiveness, an apology loses its power. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting what happened or pretending it did not hurt. Instead, it means choosing to let go of anger and resentment. Forgiving someone can be challenging, especially when the mistake was painful. However, holding on to negative emotions can cause more harm than good. Letting go of past mistakes allows relationships to heal and move forward. Trust plays a crucial role in forgiveness. If someone repeatedly apologizes for the same mistake, but does not change their behavior, their words become meaningless. A sincere apology must be followed by a genuine effort to improve. If a friend always cancels plans but keeps apologizing without changing their actions, their apology may no longer feel sincere. Similarly, in romantic relationships, if one partner keeps breaking promises and apologizing without any change, trust can be broken. Actions must support words for an apology to be effective. Some people find it difficult to forgive, even when an apology is given. In some cases, time is needed before forgiveness can be offered. If an apology is sincere, but the hurt is deep, the person who was wronged may need space to heal. Rushing forgiveness can sometimes make things worse. It is important to allow emotions to settle before fully moving on. However, there are times when an apology is never given. Some people refuse to admit their mistakes, leaving the other person feeling hurt and frustrated. In these situations, forgiveness is still possible. Letting go of resentment does not mean accepting bad behavior, but rather choosing to move forward without allowing anger to control one's emotions. Forgiving without receiving an apology is a personal decision that brings inner peace. Apologizing and forgiveness are skills that improve over time. They help build strong relationships and create an environment of trust and understanding. Those who learn to apologize sincerely and forgive genuinely will have healthier, happier connections with others. In the end, both apologizing and forgiving are acts of kindness, not just for others, but for ourselves. A heartfelt apology can mend broken relationships, and true forgiveness can bring emotional healing. When people learn to say, "I'm sorry" with honesty, and "I forgive you" with sincerity, they build stronger connections and contribute to a more understanding and compassionate world.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
End a relationship with someone.
Dump someone.
Hurt someone's feelings very badly. Hurt someone emotionally.
Break someone's heart.
Honest, emotional talk.
A heart-to-heart.
Former boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, or wife.
Ex.
A person who you are in a long-term relationship with.
Partner.
Phrase used if one must talk about serious things.
Can we talk?
What stage this relationship is in.
Where this relationship is going.
Feel strong romantic affection for someone.
In love with.
Amazing, great.
Awesome.
We have experienced our happy days.
We have had our laughs.
Don't like.
Don't appreciate.
Have strong affection to someone.
Love.
Perhaps it is time for us to do something.
Maybe it is time that we
Let's try that faster.
End a relationship with someone.
dump someone.
We have experienced our happy days.
We have had our laughs.
Former boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, or wife.
Ex.
Phrase used if one must talk about serious things.
Can we talk?
Have strong affection to someone.
Love.
Amazing. Great.
Awesome.
Feel strong romantic affection for someone.
In love with.
What stage this relationship is in.
Where this relationship is going.
A person who you are in a long-term relationship with.
Partner.
Honest, emotional talk.
A heart to heart.
Don't like.
Don't appreciate.
Perhaps it is time for us to do something.
Maybe it is time that we
Hurt someone's feelings very badly. Hurt someone emotionally.
break someone's heart.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Can we talk?
I've got something really important to tell you. Can we talk?
Can we talk?
Can we talk? I think I'm in love with someone else.
Can we talk?
Can we talk? I need your help with something.
Where this relationship is going.
We fight every day. I don't know where this relationship is going.
Where this relationship is going.
Where is this movie going? I don't understand what's happening.
Where this relationship is going.
You want to do what? Where are you going with this conversation?
We have had our laughs.
College was so much fun. We definitely had our laughs.
We have had our laughs.
She has her moments, but for the most part, she's a really nice girl.
We have had our laughs.
You had your fun. Now it's time to go to sleep.
Maybe it is time that we
It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Maybe it's time we have some lunch?
Maybe it is time that we
If you're not happy at your job, maybe it's just time for you to quit.
Maybe it is time that we
Maybe it's about time you clean your room. It's so dirty. Baby, I love you so much. Where would you like to eat, sweetheart? Darling, you look absolutely beautiful.
Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode and learned something new. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. See you next time.